have your monologue. But let's look at things. No, let's look at things objectively, right? I don't want us to be clouded with the fanboyism, and because we're Arsenal fans, and we don't want to have objective conversations. And where I would want to start will be for Arteta, right? They say the manager, the starting 11 on the pitch is a total representation of the manager on the bench.
Obviously, yeah.
Before we started recording, we were having a conversation around what is happening, what is really wrong. If potentially Man City wins the league, this will be the fourth time we'll be finishing second, right? Four consecutive in a consecutive row, 4 times we're finishing second. And this is a manager, give or take. We understand that when he came in 2020, he was a rookie manager, no experience, second in hand to Pep, right? The supposed GOAT manager. And now he's managing a team in the ilk of Arsenal. Wobbled his way, FA Cup, yes, he got the FA Cup. A lot of people will argue that was Unai Emery's team. A lot of rebuilding has happened. 2022, 2023, nobody gave us a chance, right, to compete for the league. But Arteta was there, led the league for over 200 days. Man City came, knocked us off the perch, and won the league. 2023, 2024, the same thing happened. And we all know, we would agree that it was down to Mikel Arteta's tinkering. Because if you look at the last 16 games, the only game we won, or the only game that cost us that league, was the Aston Villa loss at the Emirates.
Yeah, 2-0.
Where Arteta decided to play Havertz, a shiny new toy, as the 8th. And benched Partey. Partey was on the bench that day. Arteta decided to mix up the whole setup, and we lost, right? And that gave Man City the impetus to go ahead and win the league. Now, this season, we see the same reoccurrence. We could all say it is not Arteta's fault. Let's blame the players. But since January, you would agree with me that our football has been so poor, whereby even we've struggled to win games. And this point back to the tactics Arteta puts out there. So the question in my head, as a true Arsenal fan, I saw the setup against Man City at the Etihad. Where was this setup in the Carabao Cup? Why didn't Arteta set up Arsenal this way in the Carabao Cup? Why didn't Arteta set up the team this way against Bournemouth, against Manchester United? And there are similar patterns in this game that we lost, Manchester United and Bournemouth. Saliba, Gabriel keep making those back passes. In Bournemouth, there was a stat that came out. Raya had 38 touches of the ball, more than Gyökeres, who is a striker. So is it, for me, the question, I'm trying to just understand, is it the players or is the instruction being passed by Arteta? Because the truth is, if Arsenal goes ahead to bottle this league, it's not going to all go well. Mentally, psychologically, tell me, how would the players listen? How would they listen next season? How are they going to be motivated? Let me just allow you guys, come in here. What is the problem? Is it the players or is it Arteta? Arteta's tactics?
Yeah, honestly, about this, I would hammer down on the players. Sometimes when you watch us now, you see the players.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's the players. To be fair, sometimes.
Sorry, Danny. Let me just interject. Let me just interject you a bit, please. Pardon me. The game against Bruges, Club Bruges in the Champions League, where we went away to Belgium. Madueke scored that day, right?
Yeah.
Martinelli scored that day. We won that game 3-0. Did you see the goal Madueke scored? It was a screamer. Yeah. And please, after that game that Madueke scored, did you know ever since then, Arteta decided benching him? Please, you can fact check me. You can fact check me. Arteta just decided to bench him for whatever reason. Because now the question is, this is a player that has hit form. A player scores that kind of goal, and the next thing you do is to put him on the bench and don't even play him again.
Yeah, I think Saka
and
came
also,
back.
If you notice, even if Saka came back, if you notice the game against Sporting CP in the Champions League, where Madueke went past the Sporting Lisbon defender and it was true on to attack, all of a sudden, what happened? He stopped. So you can tell me these are reactions or these are intent from a football player. I feel it is the instruction that is being passed across to them. That's my own argument.
Yeah.
But let me
So,
let me open the floor for you guys to have a
So
conversation.
there's an interesting argument about this and discussion online. Even the Sky Sports guys that spoke about it, And I strongly believe that your coach can tell you one thing, but you have to decide as well the situation of the game. They're also human beings and they are paid to do that, not just follow instructions, So the coach all he can do is get in position to score goals. This is the normal thing in football, like get in position to score goals, and from there you are a professional footballer, you have to take your chances. So I believe if the coach tells these players this, you can't follow this coach stuff word for word. No player does that. No player does that. That you follow whatever the coach tells you that you have to do this, you have to do that. No, when you get some chances, you take it. And you can't just say, oh, because of the coach said it. For example, you see like two players running through and then you decide to pass back. No, your instinct should be pass it forward because you have a higher success rate and the coach will eventually understand. And in my opinion of Arteta, I believe that sometimes he has the same mistake as Pep where he tends to overthink. Like the setup of Havertz in the midfield, we lost in the FA Cup with that setup. We lost against Bournemouth. That setup, so that setup never worked. I think we used the same thing. We used that in away to Sporting. So he did not learn from that. I believe for a fact that Arteta is stubborn. I know that for a fact. That he doesn't make changes. He believes maybe I don't know if it's just his thing, but he's stubborn. But my own belief is the reason why Arsenal where they are right now in the Premier League is largely on the players. The players did not stand up in a lot of games because the coach will not come and tell you to close your player down. See against Wolves where we draw points. We can keep calling games out where the players actually just stopped. I'm like, you can't pass the ball. Go back to the basics. You are pros. Pass the ball, control the ball, pass, look up, pass. Simple. It's not so simple, but simple for professionals. So the players stop doing that. They allowed it to get into their head and they forget what they are doing. See against Burnley, is it Arteta that will tell Zubomendi, look out for your man? So the players are to be blamed for where we are right now. Arteta has his own problem. He's stubborn. He doesn't make changes. Yes, sometimes, like the Eze one, I was not very happy with it. I felt like he should have kept Eze on in that game. Or maybe is he just go out from injury as well? So maybe they're managing him. We don't know the full story. But for where Arsenal is right now, look at our game. I think there was a game we played where we dropped points. The game against City in the Carabao Cup. I was shocked by what I saw from professional players. They could not pass the ball. They could not close down players. I could understand that Nkapi could not close down players because it was on a yellow. But our players were not doing the basics anymore. There was a game as well where we switched players.
But why does it take him time to mix things up? Why does it take time?
Mix things up. To be fair, for a large part,
to change the tactics. For me, I just feel he's too predictable,
too pragmatic.
Raposo made mention of something here that in his monologue that he still believes as a true fan of the club, and in believing, he hopes the remaining 5 games, which institutes to 3 home games and 2 away games. Him being a fan, he hopes that Arsenal, seeing what happened yesterday in the result against Burnley and Man City, Burnley couldn't score past 1. So he hopes as a fan, as a true fan. And I feel we reckon with him as true fans as well, that we hope in the next 2 EPL fixtures, which is Newcastle and Fulham, Arsenal should be winning. Now, come Saturday, I want to see an attacking setup. I don't want to see a Rice Zubimendi. I don't want to see you trying to play conservative football because you want to control. At this point, can you just attack, even if your opponent tends to score you? At this point of the season, at this point where we are, whereby we still have one hand on the trophy, because right now Kansas City have run away with it. No,
obviously not.
At this point,
we're still there.
At this point, we still have a chance, and I want to see the fluidity. I want to see Arteta react to this. I would not want to see against Burnley at the Emirates, I'm seeing Rice Zubimendi. Against Fulham, I don't want to see Rice Zubimendi. Why can't Arteta just tend to mix things up? Because
So
at the end of the
with what
day,
players? With what
see,
players? Said Rice
I,
remained like
I,
I want
I
to
am
get
not
there.
okay. So I am not a FIFA licensed manager, right? I don't own any.
Yeah.
I've not gone into FIFA, but I feel if you give me my small footballing knowledge,
Yeah.
if you give me in that midfield, you give me a Rice, Eze, Odegaard, right? And
Yeah.
all you need to tell Eze is to work with whoever you're deploying to the left wing. And I'm sure because of ball retention and you want to keep control, Trossard
Trossard.
fits. Trossard fits
Yeah.
in there, right? And you
Yeah.
bring in a Calafiori. Enough of the playing a centre back as a left back. Enough of playing in Capi as a left back.
Yeah.
Capi doesn't give
But
us anything
Calafiori is
attacking.
injured. Calafiori
That's
is
the
injured.
problem. Okay.
Calafiori
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yeah,
Because I have
yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of things I want to respond
But
to.
Yeah.
at least we're hearing rumors that he's back and
He's
he
back,
could be
yeah.
back for the Newcastle.
Yeah, it should be
So-
back. Yeah, it should be
So
back.
for me,
Hopefully.
I am not focusing on what has happened. I'm focusing on what is yet to happen.
What is going forward.
because we have the opportunity. And if
Mhm.
Arteta makes things up, so in that left hand side, if you give me a Trossard, an Eze, and a Calafiori to play among themselves there, and you tell Rice, you are the destroyer here. Rice, all you need to do is to protect the defense and break any play, any threats. And on the right side, you give me an Odegaard, you give me possibly a Timber if he's back, and you give me a Madueke or Dauman in that right hand side. And
Yeah.
what you're giving me is a Gyökeres who is ready to peel off from the defender. No need of you trying to say you want to lob the ball. No, because with such setup, we
Who
have
passes
the
it?
control.
Yeah.
So-
to just
All he just needs to is just run into spaces. And what you need to
Yeah.
tell Eze and Odegaard is look for Gyökeres, look for his run.
yeah.
That is all we need. And if you start attacking, possibly you go 3-0 up or you go 2-0 up. I won't be against you if you say you want to bring in a Zubimendi to conserve or to play conservative football. But at that point, you've given me the goals ahead. You've pegged the opponents back. You've given them a reason to say, if you come all out again, these people will score more goals. With that, you can go to your conservative football for the rest of the 90 minutes and we go home happy. That's just my take.
Yeah. So we've been able to touch a lot of things. So like you said about the style of play and a lot of things this season, like the way it has planned out and all that, I will put it on both the players and the manager. The reason is because
Percentage-wise, over 100.
percentage-wise, I would say.
What do you give the players? What do you give Arteta?
I would give Arteta because he's the manager, and I just want to be logical, like you said. I don't want to act like a fan. I'll give Arteta 55%. I'll give the players 45%. The reason is because if a manager succeeds, he takes the glory. Do you understand? If he drops the ball, he takes. You understand? He takes the fault and the blame and whatever it is. Like I said something when we started this season, I said he needs to be ruthless in some moments, and he has done some things. There's sometimes where he will take out Saka, put in down man, take out. He has done that sometimes, and it has worked for him. But the problem I have with him too is that he's a control freak. He's a control freak, and I don't blame him. Like I said something. To cross that line is the problem. If he crosses that line, he's a very, very, very good attacking coach. But to cross that line is the problem. What he's trying to do now is, see, last season, we didn't top the league at all last season. Why? Because we brought in Skelly, he brought in Nwaneri, gave them time to play. Do you understand? Played Skelly against Atletico Madrid. No, I think that was this season. But last season against Madrid, Real Madrid, and PSG, big games. But this season, what has he done? He has gone conservative. Yes, we know we bought players, but he has gone conservative. Skelly, limited minutes. Nwaneri, obviously, because Madueke came in, Eze came in. You can't give him playing time. I'm not even going to cap anything with anybody. He deserves to go on loan. Whatever is affecting him right now is the change of coach in Marseille. That's why he's not seeing game time. But when he got there, De Zerbi was playing him.
Yeah,
Let's come back to our club.
him.
Yeah. So I would say, in some ways, like overusing some systems does not make sense. And like you said, pairing Rice and Zubimendi every time, you get caught out. And immediately Pep found out four-man press thing. That's the same thing Sporting Lisbon used for us in the first leg. We're able to break it.
And Bournemouth as well.
The same thing Bournemouth played.
Well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like you said, obviously, I would even say something. There are two ways to it. Like you said now, you said Rice, Odegaard, Eze. Fine, no problem. The problem I have with them is retention. And I mean retention like defensive retention. For example, anything, because it's football. Transition-wise, Odegaard may be going with the ball, Eze may be going with the ball. They nick it off him in the midfield. Who is left to cover? Do you understand? Rice is left alone as the DM. In that position, trust me, I would give Rice a 30-70 to recover the ball back. I know Rice very well to an extent because he thrives with a stronger person in the midfield when it comes to defensive stuff. He can track back all the way. Do you understand? You see him a lot of times running all the way, tracking back, nicking the ball at the end. But I don't know why Arteta does not really play Nogard. I'm not saying he should start
that's a big question. It's a big question.
Yeah, that one is.
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
To me, he doesn't trust him yet.
Yeah.
Because we're getting into crunch time, and you expect.
You understand? And this guy is fresh.
Yeah. That game is.
You expect the player that you've benched and not giving minutes to just come in and do the magic. It doesn't work that way.
And he does it.
And even the guy tries his best.
He does it. He does it when he comes in. He just see Nogard and he does some very nice things. So I actually trust Nogard. Yeah.
Nogard is very comfortable on the ball. Yeah. Number two, is EPL proven. Fucking coach of pardon my French, captain of Brentford. For how many years? And for Denmark,
he has won at City as well. He won at City.
You understand?
Yeah.
And for Denmark too, is a regular. So I'm not trying to say, obviously the coach knows best and all that, but in this sense of you not playing the guy at all. Now, Daniel, you can go first.
Yeah. So I completely understand what you're saying about players and things. I think there are players that you call up. Simuskera. I know every player is not the same, and it can change, but it can vary by player.
Yeah.
But my belief is these guys are pros. I'll keep saying these guys are pros, and they are built for these conditions.
Yeah.
Their life is regimented for these conditions. Mm-hmm. And I know sometimes things can happen. The time that I think maybe Zubimendi was crying, I don't know what happened, but the player were consoling him and stuff like that. I personally believe that Arteta should have done better in managing Zubimendi. I personally believe that sometimes it was being eaten alive in the midfield. I felt like Nogard was not. I remember every time we played Brentford and Nogard played, it was always a problem for us.
Bro,
was always a problem for us.
Yeah, show party trouble.
Exactly, trouble. So I'm like, why is Nogard not playing more? So the Zubimendi, I can completely understand. But for the rest of the team, sometimes Madueke comes in, doesn't show enough. I remember going to watch Skelly in the Emirates. I was completely out of my depth. I was like, what is this guy doing? He could not track back. He was not fast. At that time, Skelly had played like 2 games on the bounce. And the time that Skelly was playing Champions League games week in, week out for us at the beginning of the season. And Skelly was showing that something was wrong. One area as well did not really prove himself to be very good. See what Dorman did. Dorman basically played himself into the team.
Yeah, actually.
The Eze as well. Eze came back in and made himself stay in the team. So I believe our players personally, the ones on the bench, did not do enough. And the tinkering in midfield with Harvard playing like 10 and stuff, I believe because Merino is not available. If Merino was available, Zubimendi would have gone to the bench earlier, I think. Rice played sick and Merino played the 8 for us.
Yeah.
So I believe the Merino injury seriously dented our season. But I know Arsenal fans will not really believe that.
It seems he's back. I saw a picture.
I saw it. I think it's an old one.
Oh, he's back without his crutches and
crutches and stuff.
But it will still take him. It still take him a few weeks.
Maybe late May.
He can come back like that. Yeah.
So the midfield right now, we were completely like so thin in midfield. Odegaard was out. Eze was out. Merino was out. So basically, important players were out at important parts of the season. City, they could call on Nico Gonzalez. They could, and they have the luxury of having this guy. But the left back, O'Reilly.
Daniel, Daniel,
Yeah.
sorry I'm interjecting you.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we all saw
Yeah.
how Pep set up, right? Against a Burnley team.
Yeah.
19th position. Pep trusted O'Reilly to play as the 6. He played a double pivot of
Double pivot,
O'Reilly
yeah.
and Silva.
That was not his first time. That was not his first time.
No, but
That's
if
not
you
his
look
O'Reilly
at
and
it,
Nico. Yeah.
no.
No,
He
Nico did
played
not play. Nico did not
yesterday.
play. Bernardo.
Nico came in. It was
Nico,
Nico
Bernardo
Nico
came
came in. He did not
Silva.
play. Yeah, no, Bernardo Silva
Yeah,
and
Nico came in.
O'Reilly.
It was Bernardo Silva and O'Reilly. Now,
Yeah.
if I'm to juxtapose it with Arteta, I'm sure
Yeah.
heading to Toughmore, in this scenario, he would have started Rice Mendy.
Yeah, I agree.
He
with you.
would have.
That one, yeah,
He
it
would have.
Let me.
But because Rodri was
And
out,
that is the
and
problem.
Pep knew he would have control yesterday, so he knew that
Yeah.
defensively Rodri will not be a big thing. But the
Yeah.
one of Arteta, if Rice was injured,
Exactly the problem I'm trying to exactly the problem I have with Arteta. Burnley, with all due respect, Burnley is not going to hurt you in the midfield. Burnley will sit back, right? And what is the need of you playing a Zubimendi and Rice when the people that you are setting up for have already relinquished possession to you? Has relinquished possession to you.
Yeah.
So at that point, all you need to do is to go broke. And I feel, like I said, this Newcastle game on Saturday is where I want to see the decision making of Arteta and how it will hamper the remaining games. Seriously, because obviously we all know what Newcastle is coming to do. Newcastle will come and sit deep and hit us in transition. That is what they are coming to do. So it's a test. Yeah. You were about making a point before I cut on. Sorry.
Yeah, I heard Gordon as well is injured, so he might not be available for the game. So I think that would also influence Eddie Howe's tactics for the game. But I honestly agree with you with everything you said about Arteta and some things he has done. But I believe there were some times this season that I don't think he had a choice. He could not play Skelly in midfield. You know, Arsenal fans would have come and think that why are you paying Skelly at this? You know, Arsenal fans like we want to win now, and anything he does that just seems maybe off. You know, different from what.
Yeah, they tend to panic even with those kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
let me hear your take for us to round off.
Yeah.
5 games to go in the EPL. 3 possible games in the Champions League. Right? That's if we win our 2. It will go over two legs in the semi-final. Mm-hmm. If you win the tie, we find ourselves in the final. That's 1 more game in the Champions League. And that will be fantastic because seeing how we did last season, we got semi-final, we were knocked out. If we go over semi-final this season, we'll go into the final. It gives us a 50% chance automatically to win the Champions League. But I want to hear from you guys. Raposo, you go first. I want to hear from you. As a fan, 5 games left on the EPL with 1 hand on the trophy. And whatever we do, we have our destiny in our hands. Mm-hmm. And possibly 3 games in the Champions League to win the Champions League. Are you confident for the remaining weeks? 6 weeks, as they say. 6 weeks left. Are you confident as an Arsenal fan?
I would say I am 75% confident. The reason is because
that's a pass mark.
Yeah. So the reason is because, like I said, the last 2 games we played, I've seen a bit of desire. Do you understand? I've seen a bit of intent. Let me use that word. You know, against Sporting, we're just unlucky. And yes, you know, then we're trying to pick ourselves up. I don't want to give excuses for them. Against City, obviously, if we had killed off our chances and not played into the mental game with City, we would have been able to, you know, at least come out with a draw. I wanted a win. I predicted a win for us because there was no other option. I saw this coming. But in the next 5 games, they have no choice. Another thing I will even say is Arteta probably, I know he does a lot of things, you know, bring in a light bulb, blah, blah, blah. He needs to call in some guys from the Invisibles, call in some guys that you know, have influence. Call them in, speak to these guys, you know, just behind the scenes. You don't need any too much wala. In fact, now, from now to the end of the season, no media rubbish, no too much, oh, he brought a speaker to the training ground. It was when he started doing all of these things that this guy started, misbehaving. Throughout the season, all our mindset and our players' mindset was we're taking it per game. Do you understand? Yep. So you can call in them Henry. What's this guy's name? Martin Keown. The guys that have been standing for the team. Henry, Martin Keown, Ian Wright. The guys that
Yeah, right. Gave up in the last overlap.
No, I can't blame him. I can't blame him.
Gave
to be
up.
honest with you, I can't blame him.
He gave up.
The guy is still pressure. He looks this guy.
He gave up.
He spoke like a fan, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
He spoke like a fan. Like, man, if you guys don't do it now, man, I don't know. Like, and another thing I would say about Arteta, like we were saying in the last point we're hammering on, I feel like the reason why he has done this whole not playing so many guys this season and all that is because, like we said, he's just trying to make sure that, oh, you know what? I trust this particular set of guys. I need to use them to cross this line. If I cross this line with them, next season, I will still be fighting for the title, but I cannot be a bit flexible. I cannot test more things. But that is where football can come onto you. Do you understand? But like we said, hopefully next 8 games that we have to play, man, psychologically, number one, you need to be up there. That's the first and important thing. If your psychology is A1, trust me, you really have no problems. Even if you don't start the game well, if you have a mindset of we can't drop the ball in this game, you will play football. It will come out. Do you understand? And we need to please play to Gyökeres's strengths. I'm begging them. We see that this guy, all you need to do for him is just give him the ball on the run. Let him just be a bit away from a defender or the defender holding it. Let him pace the ball. See how he scored the second goal against Tottenham. Mm-hmm. That's the same kind of goal Havertz missed. So those are his strengths. Yeah. Square playing the ball into the box. Those are his strengths. Our wingers do not, bro, this season, they don't square play the ball. I'm talking about running directly and just, wiping it in. Anybody, Eze, they don't. They rather cut back and want to cross. So attacking intent, the way we played when we were 2023, 2023, 2022, 23 season, that is what we need to do. We need to switch to pocket passes, triangle passes.
Yeah.
Saka, Odegaard, Ben White, that kind of system we are having. You need that kind of transition football. You need attacking football. Like I said, I said 75% now, but what will make me fully back them is, bro, Newcastle game, I don't want to hear anything. If they're not going to beat those guys,
no story, man.
If they're not going to beat those guys, 3-0, I don't even know. Wherever he wants to start, he should start. My own is get the job done as soon as possible. The Fulham game, we saw how Fulham was played when they went to the Etihad. Man City didn't at that point. I can remember it was midweek. They trashed them 3-0.
3-0. Yeah.
Fulham coming to our own stadium now. We don't need to give them. To me now, the word is you need to be ruthless. You don't need to give anybody any breathing space. The fans also need to be solid.
I think you said it all, to be honest. What you expect from the team. Honestly, I expect the same thing. I expect desire, I expect fight. Right saying it's not over.
It's not over.
On the pitch.
I want to see that thing on the pitch.
I want to see that on the pitch.
Yeah.
You should not consider any goal game till we win everything. It's not
they
over.
Be creative. Don't play robotic football.
Don't play robotic
things
football.
See, football it is. Football, like you said, football is a spirit. What do we call samba? You think the Brazilians just want to say, oh, they know they have right backs, they know they can cross, they can do all that. But like we said, Eze is the X factor. That is the only player we have right now that can do something that you will not expect. Look at the Leverkusen goal. Yeah. Do you understand? Look at the goals he has scored for us this season. He's the X factor. He's the one that can actually do those crazy things. The other guys that are there now, they just need to make sure that, see, it's not every time you pass the ball all the way to the wing, Martinelli, you now run and Babami, take on these guys. Get free kicks.
Yes.
Take control of the game. If you don't do that, you cannot achieve anything. We're talking about O'Reilly. Do you think it's easy for him to be where he is? He's been brave enough. If he wasn't brave enough, look at the way the guy was playing against us.
So confident.
You understand?
He was playing like a man.
He has grown into that vibe of the game. His mentality has gotten there. Now he knows I'm on the big stage. I can't fuck up. I have nothing to lose. That's what Kelly was doing last season. Do you understand? I am here. This is what I've been aiming for all my life. Now I'm here. I need to show that I can do this. So we have no choice, so bro. I'm not gonna lie. If not, they will just allow all these boys just troll us again, and I don't want that.
Exactly. So I'm just encouraged by just seeing how we played the Man City. I felt like I could see glimpse of Arsenal Bayern. How we played against Bayern, like quick transitions, trying to do. I could see that glimpse of that. So I'll work by heart on that and say, okay, I trust the boys to do something and just get us going. We've tried. This is the fourth year. People are cooking me left and right here. I'm like, so yeah. I hope everything goes our way.
But my parting shot is the players need to take a look at themselves. Yes, I know I've been on Arteta since the beginning of the show, but the players also need to, do self-introspection and look at it. This is an opportunity. Do I want my name to be etched on the history or on the folklore of Arsenal? Case in point, Mark Overmars. The goal he scored at Old Trafford in 1998 was what pushed us to winning the title. Sylvain Viltord, the goal he scored at Old Trafford. That was what pushed us to the league. And also Vieira and Dennis Beckham and Pires, the performance they made at White Hart Lane in 2004 was what won us the league. So the players also need to look at themselves, needs to take a deep look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Do we want to go for this? Do we really want to do this? And there's something crazy about football. I know Arsenal have been getting bashed left, right, center on social media. And what the naysayers are failing to recognize is Arsenal could end this season winning the Premiership and the Champions League.
Yeah.
Because the point is, if Arsenal gets into the final, regardless of whoever they are facing, PSG or Bayern Munich, it's a 50-50. And like
it's one game.
It's one game. And like they say, football is like biscuit. It can crack from anywhere. And who knows? The crack that is going to happen that day could favor Arsenal. So, for me, the players needs to be spoken to mentally, wherever they need to go. I was watching one clips of Isola Adesanya. There's this Brazilian guy that beat him in the amateur when he got to the pro. Yeah, Pereira beat him as well. And his kid, Pereira's kid, was making fun of him.
Yeah. I think I've seen that video once.
I think in the UFC again, Pereira beat him again. So the fourth time, there was something Adesanya said. He said he had to go to the dark places. He went deep. And that's why I say at times, this thing, there's a spirituality to it. The players need to go deep. Wherever dark place they need to go to within the spirit realm to find that motivation and push themselves for the remaining 5 games and also for the remaining possible 3 games in the Champions League and make history for the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. It can happen.
Let's go.
It can.